Hello, friends. Dave Trotter here with Awaken Magazine, and I am so excited today to have my friend Bernadette Logue, aka she goes by B. I don't know. I just have a problem calling her B. I just feel like I should be calling her Bernadette. I don't know.
We're friends. Come on.
I don't. So, Bernadette is a transformation coach and spiritual mentor, and she travels the globe with her husband. She's like literally a nomadic coach. She's coaching people and bringing about life transformation from all parts of the globe. Bernadette, welcome to our live stream today. It's great to be with you.
Amazing. I'm so happy to be here with you. I always absolutely love chatting to you, and I am so about this topic. So I can't wait to have a chat, and whoever's tuning in, hey to you wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. So we're talking about you've tried everything. So why do you still feel stuck? And so this topic, I definitely can relate because there's areas of my life where I can still feel stuck, even today, in certain ways of stories that I tell myself, mindset, certain behaviors, and that type of thing. And so, Bernadette, you have helped thousands of people over the years. How many years have you been coaching people and helping people experience life transformation?
It's been over 13 years doing this business as a transformation life coach, spiritual mentor. Before this, I was in corporate business, and the latter part of that, I was doing performance coaching and leadership.
So, talk to me about through all of that experience, whether it was in corporate or in the personal development right now, what's the number one reason why people stay stuck, even if they have spent time reading the books? I've read the Four Agreements. I've read Eckhart Tolle. I've read Oprah. I have read Deepak Chopra. I've been to the Tony Robbins event. I have been to all the free, I've downloaded the free, PDFs.
All the things. Exactly. So I have had so many people say to me after going through coaching with me, I had done years and sometimes decades of therapy. Why am I still stuck? And it always comes down to the same thing. And when people come to get coaching, it's not like they go, oh, I need an answer, let me immediately hire a coach. They've always done something. They've always looked and tried to figure it out for themselves first. And the most important thing is what keeps people stuck has got nothing to do with you being intelligent or well-educated. So being smart and loading your system with information and being intellectually able to understand something, and even doing years of self-reflection and knowing what is actually going on, like you understand the pattern, is still not enough to get you unstuck. And that's why I've created such a body of work around this now. So there's a couple of things. The first thing is change is not one-dimensional, and you are what I call 5-layered inside. So a lot of people are doing change at 1 or 2 layers of who they are. And I'll explain what the layers are. But if you do this, you take 2 layers forward and you leave 3 behind. And what happens, it's like a rubber band, you pull the rubber band out and you let it go and it flicks straight back to where you were. It's like a boomerang. It's when you go, oh my, I thought I dealt with this. Why is this still coming back? So the layers are psychological, emotional, energetic, behavioral, and multidimensional, higher consciousness, the spiritual, soulful self. Those 5 layers.
I want to get those again real quick. Okay, psychological, emotional, energetic.
Correct.
Behavioral. And interdimensional.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing is most people are doing mindset, and then they might do some behavioral change. So I'm going to try and change my habits, and I've got the right mindset, but you've left your emotional energetics behind, and you're totally out of sync with your true self and your intuitive self. Or you're doing some somatic healing work. You're really working on your energetic system. You're calming your nervous system. You're dealing with some emotional stuff. Amazing. It is beautiful. It is powerful. You've done nothing wrong. But if your subconscious identity does not match what you're trying to do with your goals, and you have a conflict inside that is like, I'm not about that goal, and you can't see it, then you'll feel better in the moment, but you'll still sabotage yourself from taking action and doing the things that you need to do. So what happens is people can't see their 5 layers, and they do the things that they read and see, because of course we all do, because it all makes sense, but they're leaving some part out they can't see. And then they think, it doesn't work for me. something wrong with me. I need to try harder. Worst idea ever. Leads to complete burnout. And then you end up hating self-development. Someone get me out of this loop. And really it's about those 5 things. And when they are harmonized and they work together, then what happens is there's just organic unfolding, and you'll unfold and evolve to the degree that is right for you and that you're right for. So, you know, factoring in the bigger picture of your life and where you're at, if you get those layers aligned and you address the things that are out of sync, that's when you actually start getting results and change.
I have done a lot of like traditional talk therapy in my life. I started going to a therapist when I was in college because it was offered for free on campus. And I was talking to my 26-year-old daughter about this, and she's done quite a bit of therapy. And I said, you know, although therapy really helped me, I think by the time, like several years ago, I got to the place where I was like, I can clearly articulate my issues. I can very clearly articulate my issues, but I still have my issues.
Yeah.
Right? I can talk about them better than anyone else, but what do I do with them now?
And I think the thing is that you actually do need, there's a great deal of power in healing and seeing the issue and seeing it clearly. That is part of the process. And I would say maybe for, I don't know, if we took a guesstimate, I don't know, maybe 50% of stuff gets resolved without anything else. But when you're talking about the sticky stuff your soul came here to solve, and you're talking about your big patterns and your big life lessons and your deeply ingrained things, they need more help. And our system is so smart. It is always entirely working for your benefit. It's just misguided, and it thinks it's doing you a favor by putting the handbrake on all over the place. You know, we smoke and mirror ourselves about things, and we run patterns, and our system lets it happen because of various things, including trying to keep us safe. And we don't see that from a logical perspective, but nothing that's going on is happening in this tiny 5% conscious mind at the front. It's all happening what I call below the hood, like below the tip of the iceberg. And there are 3 main big things, just to drop some extra nuggets in. There are 3 main big things that are going on when we talk about misalignments inside. And those things are blind spots. You cannot see what your subconscious is doing. And so therefore it's running you in patterns. And if you can't see what's happening, because it's literally a blind spot, then how are you meant to resolve what you cannot see? So we need an access point to get in and know how to see what's going on. The second one is a subconscious conflict. And I just love this stuff because it really takes the mystery out of thinking that this is confusing. It's never confusing. It's never a mystery. It's always very clear when you know what to look for. So when it comes to subconscious conflict, it's this. I say I want X, but a part of me is not wanting it at all. And
Can you give me an
not about
example
it.
of that?
Yeah, okay, a really good one is I want success in my business. And I want to have like a great deal of abundance, and I'm going to like do the success thing, and I've got my goals. And another part of you is like, oh my God, I'm absolutely terrified to be seen. I'm going to get judged. It's going to feel like when I was rejected when I was younger. I can't cope with it. I'm going to run away. Or, you know, a really painful and common one is I want to, I want to shed excess weight on my body. I want my body to come to a different equilibrium. I want to feel better in my body. Subconscious, I'm terrified of getting attention. I don't want attention from anybody.
How about something around relationships?
Relationships is a really common one is I want a loving partnership. I've heard this out of mouths many times. I want a loving partnership. It's time, and I know it's possible, and I'm manifesting it. And when you start to talk about intimacy, and you start to talk about letting somebody in and sharing space, sharing time and vulnerability, the whole system starts to go. The shoulders come up, and it's like, oh, I don't want to give up my space. I don't want to like compromise for anyone. It didn't go well in past relationships. That's going to happen again. And it all starts to come out. But on a daily basis, people are not thinking that, and they're not seeing that until someone points it out. They're going, I want a loving relationship. Why is he, she, they not here yet? And so they go, I must be manifesting wrong. I just need to I need to be better at my manifesting. Whereas in actual fact, we just need our system in harmony for all the parts of you to go, yes, 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 yes. And when you get everyone singing yes, it's like an orchestra. You want to tune all the instruments to want to play together in the same symphony, not one off there playing some other tune.
So we're sabotaging ourselves unknowingly from getting the very thing that we want because there's a misalignment, what I'm hearing you state. You said there were three things. So one was blind spots. The second one, how would you describe what we just talked about? What would those?
Subconscious conflict.
Subconscious conflict. Okay. And the third one is?
And the third one is our point that we just discussed leads to this. It's self-protection loops.
Okay.
And that is we are constantly, as human beings, self-protecting. And we are constant. A lot of people do it very consciously, but our system is designed to keep us safe. It doesn't really care about anything else. It's like primitive nature is stay alive. Unfortunately, it uses a lot of childhood programming and misguided limiting beliefs and limited identity self-concept and stuck emotions to make the decision about what's safe. And so if more money doesn't feel safe because you saw your parents fight about money all the time, or one time you did something and you lost money and it was painful and you felt awful and you felt shame, then your body does not agree that money is good and safe. And so it's going to protect you from it. And it's going to go, I'm going to do you a favor and you can thank me later. And meanwhile, you're going, why have I not got the thing?
Right. I had an interesting experience with this. I met my partner, Mandy, almost a little more than 3 years ago. And it was a new relationship, obviously. And it was my first time being in a new relationship in a long time. And so I had all of a sudden these experiences that when we were apart, I could feel my nervous system, like this anxiety, or like we're together a lot. And then she would, do her own thing, like we just do as human beings. Right. And then all of a sudden I would be like, and I'm like, what is going on inside of me? I've not ever had this feeling is horrible. And it felt like clingy and like and like there could feel some jealousy, but I'm like, but I don't really feel jealous. My body is just freaking out. And then for the first time, I came across the languaging of anxious attachment versus what's the other one? Anxious attachment versus I've forgotten the other language where it's like you don't want to be attached. Anyway, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, something inside of me has to feel attached to someone in order to feel safe. Like I have to feel like I'm okay. And then I was recognizing, okay, there are things that are going on inside of me that I didn't even realize, these needs that I had, right? Exactly what you're talking about. And my nervous system was protecting myself because if you're alone, that's not safe. It's like,
danger.
What? And then other people to be connected is not safe, So anyway, I'm resonating.
And this is the thing, is the parts of us are trying to signal something to us. Now, here's what we don't want to do in that situation is go, oh, something's terribly wrong. No, nothing's wrong. It's like some beautiful part of your system is sending you a message.
Yes.
And you might need to do some loving leadership to tell it the truth so that it can stop doing a job it doesn't need to do, or whatever might be the case of what's going on. And unfortunately, what we do is people then get coping mechanisms. So we've got a root issue. Now we're going to put a coping mechanism on top. So I'm going to eat to feel better. I'll drink to feel better. I'll distract myself to feel better. Then we think we've got an eating, drinking, distraction problem. We're not dealing with the root at the root. And the root is not even that I feel anxious when the partner's not there. There's something below that, because what is creating that? Well, that is a sense of I need to be in this situation in order to be safe. True or not true? Is it really true? What part of me learned that I need that? And so the other thing is we've got to deal with roots, not symptoms. And that's what keeps people stuck. A lot of people come in and they say to me, here's my problem. And I love to do this because I'm one of my zones of genius is pattern recognition. And when I look through people's pre-coaching and things, I can go, not the problem, not the problem, not the problem, that's not the problem, symptom, symptom, symptom. And they'll say one statement or one word and it's like, that's the problem. And then you can literally let go of like 95% of the things that you think you need to fix, and actually just deal with the very few number of core roots. And then when you do that, it's a little bit like a house of cards. If you pull a card at the bottom, the whole house comes tumbling down, instead of trying to deal with the whole situation.
So how do you address a whole system, like our whole being, right? Those 5 layers. Okay, I'm hearing that there's these 3 common challenges. How do I do that when, number one, that can feel so overwhelming? Like, where do I start?
Yeah, so I do it in my system. I do it in the 5 layers, and I do it in a very particular order. So I've taught psychological training programs, and I've taught spiritual programs, and I've taught emotional relief programs, and I've learned over the 13 years of doing this what order we need to do it in order to get people the most fluid results with the least amount of pressure on their system. And that goes psychological foundation first.
Okay.
Below the hood, subconscious, what's really going on, and cleaning that up. Because the number one thing that will get in the way of people's ability to do anything else is what's going on in here. And then your emotions are deeply connected to that. And so then we clear emotional blocks. And when you've cleared those 2, it makes it a lot easier to deal with what I call your energetics, which is your nervous system, your breath, your life force, the chi energy in your system, to get that all calm and regulated. And there's a reason we do behavioral 4th, because if I just send you out there to try to do new behavior with all of that stuff going on, it doesn't go well.
There's no way.
You can't willpower your way into change, because if you could, you would have done it already. So we need to change these layers that are a bit below the hood to give you freedom and fluidity to be able to operate in a different way in your behavior. And then I always do that now, this multidimensional sort of, it's not spiritual as much as it is intuitive and connecting with the intelligence of life, right? So this goes for whether we are atheist, whether we're religious, whether we're spiritual, whatever we believe our faith system is I do this last now, because the number one thing that gets in the way of your intuition and your spiritual connection or your infinite intelligence connection is all of that stuff that we just talked about that comes before it. And so when you line all of that stuff up, what happens is you become, like I like to call it, a clear channel. There's more spaciousness inside of you for all of that to flow. And then you can begin to live your life from the position, the seat of what is this purposeful, intuitive self and what it wants to do.
One of the things that, I don't know if you want me to say this, but what I have found out about you is, on the surface, oftentimes you're talking about the psychological, you're talking about the emotional, you're talking about the behavioral, but you, I mean, with our audience, like you, I'm just going to out you. You're like an undercover secret mission, interdimensional individual. Like you are, you bring the secret sauce when it comes to being a channel. Like you have
you mean the spiritual side of things?
Yes, you are like you have superpowers in this area, and you're like, you keep it undercover. I know, because it kind of freaks people out, but with our audience, you just let your like spiritual freak flag fly.
Yeah, I think the people that have been in my community a long time, like I've done a lot of transformation coaching, and I've coached people that are in no way spiritual whatsoever. And my background in corporate business was very much that straight-laced path. But people that have been in my community a little while, particularly in my programs, know I'm pretty deeply out there. But I think the beauty is that you know, it doesn't matter what path you're walking. If you leave any of this behind, like people will come in and they'll be like, yeah, I'm not really into all that spiritual stuff. I'm really here for this. And I'll be like, okay, well, here's the answer. And P.S., I'm just going to say it anyway. Whether you believe it or not, I'm going to lay it out for you. And if it plants a seed, great. And if it doesn't, no skin off my nose. No problem at all. Yeah.
Amazing. The people, I'm curious about the people that you primarily work with in your programs and with your, I know you do some one-on-one work, or is it mainly group?
I do a lot of one-on-one, actually. I've been doing a lot just for the last, I did a lot early in my career. I took a few years off doing one-on-one, and I've been back doing it for a couple of years. Okay.
What are the primary challenges or issues that people are coming to you with in terms of like the presenting problems? I don't mean like the below the surface challenge, but what's the presenting challenge that they come in?
Presenting problems, so we'll split them into inner and outer. So outer are tangible life circumstance issues, and inner is the obvious. The really obvious things are being run by anxiety and fear, low self-worth, low self-confidence, inability to take action on goals and dreams, inability to follow through, inability to stick with it, lack of motivation spikes and then it drops away, like getting foggy, procrastinating. That's a sure sign your system's out of alignment. Those things like procrastination, motivation dropping away, all those things. So those kind of inner challenges, and most people actually do know, okay, I've got some limiting beliefs going on. I just don't know how to change them. I don't have a methodology. They often don't know there's identity stuff and other things going on there. So those common things, and people just want peace, man. It's not complicated. People want peace. They want to feel good in their skin. They want to feel confident and just be free. I get this all the time. I want to be free to be me. That's really common. When it comes to outer situations, it's like, I'm stuck in my career. I've got no purpose, no meaning. I'm sick and tired of running on the hamster wheel. Nothing seems to be right for me of interest. I don't know which direction to take. Really common are money issues. Money issues is often really closely linked to your sense of power. Because abundance and power are very closely connected energies. So when we're having abundance issues, it's often we're not owning our power. It's often an issue going on within us. So I do get most people that come in will typically refer to some kind of a health thing, though I don't have people come to me just for a health issue. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a new age doctor. I'm not a mind body doctor. But most people will commonly say, I'm also noticing my body is trying to tell me something and I don't know what's going on. It's out of the blue and I can't figure out what's going on. And then the last one would be outer presenting symptoms, relationship issues.
Yeah. So oftentimes I hear an opportunity to work with somebody, to connect with somebody, and it's that feeling of like, this is finally okay, this is the one. This is the one that's going to finally help me. But I have felt like this is the one multiple times. You know, this is going to be the project. This is going to be the therapist. This is going to be the experience. This is going to be the course. And then I get disappointed. Like, how do I know if I'm actually ready to experience that transformation or breakthrough in my life?
Yeah, I think like I'll give you some symptoms of it or some signs, but we are 100% always ready. You don't need to get more pain. You don't need to suffer anymore. You don't need to get to a certain place of evolution. Like I have some people say to me, oh, I think I just need to start more simply. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're only on the planet for 100 years. How old are you? Minus off your current age. That's how many years you've got before you're gone. Why would you go, I'm just
more simply? What does that mean?
Yeah, like,
what does that
I'll be
mean?
like, I could create transformation for you in like weeks. And you want to you want me to give you like a one tiny step that'll just give you like a little something easy. I'm like, if you want to get small stuff and little stuff, you'll get small little stuff and result usually. I'm like, if you're going to do it, my recommendation is this. Go in, focus, specific period of time, rip the Band-Aid off. You're a courageous soul. Let's do it. Otherwise, you're dragging it out. One of the biggest reasons people don't get change is not that things don't work. They don't work the things that work. And for things to work, you need to show up. You need to be consistent. You need to follow through with them. And that's where you start to get momentum. The easiest way to do that is like, give yourself a window and dive in and really commit for yourself. But the two main signs I would say for people to know that they're really, really ready is that the pain of staying stuck has become greater than the fear of change. Like, oh, I don't really want to do this work because it's going to be painful and uncomfortable. And I don't really want to give the time to it. But the pain is not big enough where you stand to motivate you to make the move. Or you don't really want to put yourself out there and make the commitment. And so once the pain becomes so bad, you will take action. It's happened to me multiple times. Life had to light the fire under me for me to actually move and make the changes that I need to make and make the commitment.
How do I like, do I wait for the pain to get worse? If I go, well,
no.
It's really too scary, like maybe I just need to wait for the pain to get worse, or
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
what do
here's
I
the
do?
thing. You have to I just really am so about having real conversations, like really like look at the truth. The truth will set you free. What are you doing? I love people so much. I'm like, I will preface it by saying, I love you so much, so I'm going to be direct with you because you don't need mollycoddling and you don't need someone to dance around you. It is going to get worse if you don't do something, and you're not going to die if you take the step and you look at what's going on within you. It's going to set you free for the rest of your life, and your soul will stand by and slowly clap for you as it happens. But you have to say yes, and it's squirmy and it's squishy and it's uncomfortable. It's not like we dance through the roses while we deal with our stuff. We go, oh, this is a bit stretchy. And that's all right. We have a sense of humor and we have fun and we do it together. But it's the willingness to show up. Like, you have to get real with yourself. And I've done that multiple times. I've been like, you know what, I don't really want to do this thing that I need to do to free myself of whatever it is, whether it's been a problem in my business or a problem in my own self. But you know what, like, no one's coming to save me. I've got to do something. And I'm smart enough. I'm a smart enough girl to know if I don't, it probably ain't going to look great in 6 to 12, 24 months from now if I don't do something. Right. And so we do have to, with love, have those conversations with ourselves to say, if I want change, this is what I love about the universe. It sits by and it goes, tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. And I'll listen by everything about you. I'll listen not to the words you want, not that you want XYZ things. I'm listening to you, who you're being. I'm going to give you who you're being, identity, beliefs, energy, emotion, your behavior. I'm watching and I'm saying, your wish is my command. I'm going to give you what you want. And it's like when we start to align, I've seen people have literally said, I've started experiencing miracles. Like, what is happening? And it's like, yeah, that's what happens. You start lining up. Yeah.
So Bernadette, I know I look 25, but I'm actually 52. So I plan to live to 100. I've said that for years and years and years and years. So I've got 48 years left. And one of the things that I started realizing several years ago was what you're saying. Okay, I can think about time and go, well, it just, I guess my life is just going to be in the same pattern for the rest of my life. And then I go, but do I want it to be? Do I want to stay in the same loop? Do I want to stay with the same challenge, the same problem for another 48 years? Do I want to do that? Well, no, I don't. I really don't. Well, I'm so old now. There's no sense in changing. I mean, this is what it is. Well, wait a second. If I've only lived half of my life, that means I've got half left. So what if I made the last half the best half?
Yeah.
And so in order, I can shift the way that I think about my age and go, wow, I've got 50 years of experience. That means I'm going to bring this 50 years of experience into the next half. I don't want to waste the next half. I don't want to wait. I can make changes now.
Best years of your life.
Yeah.
Best years of your life, because you've got wisdom now. You've been around the tracks long enough.
Right.
I've had people that have come in their 80s, like the closest was close to 90.
Wow.
And set themselves free.
Wow.
And some of them have said, I don't want to die with this inside of me. Like, I don't want to come back and do this thing again. Whatever your belief system is.
That gives me chills. I don't want to die with this inside of me. I want freedom.
Yeah.
That's so good.
And reclaiming for a lot of people that were like, a lot of people of current 2025, a lot of people that are in their 70s, 80s, even in their 90s, they grew up in a generation where joy and playfulness was not on the priority of agendas for you to even be referencing when you were a child, a teenager, in your, I don't know for men, but I have a lot of female clients, and a lot of the women say like, well, I'm 70, I guess it's my turn now. And it's like, oh yes, it's your turn. Buckle in. And there's reclaiming. I've got people reclaiming their creativity, like going out and doing the things they always wanted to do that they never did and they never followed because they went down the path that everyone else told them to do, or they didn't get the opportunity because they were giving their life in all other beautiful ways that they did. And it's now their time to do things differently. You're never too old. Never.
You don't want to
as
be
long as your heart's beating.
You don't want to be 70 and 80 years old still living in the path that your parents desired for you. Or still
unless you love the path,
of
right?
Course.
If you love the path, great. But if you inside know, the thing is that when you go down this path, particularly when you start to lift your consciousness, if you're on a faith or spiritual path and you start to see things from a really big perspective, you can't fool yourself anymore. You know, we do this thing, our ego does a smoke and mirrors thing, and we'll be like, well, you know, this and this, and we make up all these reasons to make ourselves feel better. And it's a safety self-protection mechanism, so we don't feel any pain. But on this path, you get to a certain point where you're like, I know something's not right, and I can't fool myself about it. And it's when you get in that place where it's like, oh, that's really painful. But that is the pivot point when you feel that way. You want to know that there's something going on that you don't want to fool yourself about. That's a good thing to be happening, not a bad thing.
Yeah. I had an experience with someone regarding social media and video and all of this. And I was looking to add another person to the team. And my partner, Mandy, was like, oh, why do you think you need that? Or why do you think you need that training? And I go, because I don't know what I don't know. Like, I'm blind to the fact that I don't even know what I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be trained on. I mean, I really feel blind. And I feel like that's where someone like yourself can come in, you know, when in terms of like, you're talking about the layers and the blind spots and the not recognizing the patterns. It's like, I'm so blind to it. I need somebody else to help me, like, to become aware of it. And I think that's the power of someone like yourself as a transformation coach and a spiritual mentor, what you bring to the table.
Yeah, it's a fast forward, basically. Like, you can't see what you can't see. And it's just that ability. You can't see the forest for the trees. Is that the right saying? That's the thing. You're too close to yourself. So there's something you said earlier, and it reminded me of something in my own path. And it's about, how do you trust in making decisions when you've been disappointed so many times by other things you've done and other people you've thought, oh, this person will help me, or this person will help me. I mean, I remember doing that when I was trying to heal myself of like a 13-year chronic pain issue. And I literally tried every single thing you could imagine and just jab, you know, stuff on me at all levels, and nothing would budge it. And it wasn't until there was a bit of a shift happen, and I'll talk about what it was, that I started to connect in with the right information and the right people. And the same thing happened again with my business. So I had this whole story for like pretty much the majority of my 13 years. I'm not a business person. While busily trying to run a business. Terrible. I've solved that identity issue. But underneath it all, what was happening was, I didn't really know what I needed to be doing in certain aspects of my business, but I didn't really want to figure it out, and I didn't really want to have to change. So I was just like, well, I suppose I'll have to go and get some help. And I just kept attracting the worst misaligned people and then being disappointed with the result, because my system was truly not open-hearted for the change. So if you're going to get change, here's what I recommend. Sit with yourself and go, do I really want the awesomeness of this change? And if I do, let me open my heart by just saying, universe, creator, source, spirit, soul, beingness that I am, I'm opening my heart to really allow in the right information to support me to do this. Then watch for signs, synchronicities, and pay attention to resonance, because you will get sent what you need on your path, and you'll know it because you'll go, I don't know why, but this is the resonant thing. It happened in my business. 2 people showed up and they completely transformed my whole perspective of business, like totally.
Wow.
And the same thing happened in my health situation. It was at the point I started having a spiritual awakening, and I was like, oh, I really want to resolve this, and something weird is going on here. And it ended up, my health issue ended up pretty much disappearing.
Wow.
Through a series of doing spiritual related things, instead of like jabbing needles in myself with acupuncture and going to every other thing I could possibly do. But it's like, when you're really ready and you open your heart and you're like, please show me, I'm willing to see, I'm willing to squirm and deal with whatever's in here. Like, let's do this. And, you know, the other thing about change, it doesn't have to be risky and painful. People are like, oh, I'm going to have to do this change. Like, people say to me sometimes at coaching, oh, I know it's going to be hard work. And I'm like, why do you think it's going to be hard work? Let's make it good and juicy and fun and liberating. It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be risky. You don't have to like take big leaps off a cliff. You're just going to gently and sacredly go about it. And the more gentle and sacred you go about it, actually the better the shifts. Because we're not trying to force something or do this thing where we're like, oh, we're going to make it happen. We're just actually going to soften and we're going to let the truth rise. And then when we get the truth at the root, we're going to make the shift.
One of the things that I feel when I talk to you, interview you, connect with you, some people in the world of life transformation and or business are more passionate about the knowledge, protocol, system, methodology, modality. Like I'm really passionate about the modality, right? They love the thing that they've created. And I think that's good, right? But then there's also people that I come across that are just deeply passionate about people. And I'm looking for those people that are they're knowledgeable about their modality, right? They're expert in that, but I want to feel like they love me, they care about me,
Yeah.
they deeply like want the best for me.
They're going to show up for you the way you're going to show up for yourself.
And I can feel the difference between like, oh, they're just passionate about their system or their modality or whatever, which is fine, right?
Totally.
But that's what I resonate about you is like I sense I'm like, Bernadette is for me. Bernadette is for people. She loves her way of thinking about it, and I admire her expertise. I love that about her. She's very clear. Like you're very clear. You're a clear thinker about what you do and say. But I just go, she cares about people. And I feel that when I'm with you.
That's the masculine and feminine, right? The feminine is the space holding for it. And then the masculine is the structure and the protocol. Like, you know me, I'm left-brained. I'm like all about the process. But that has to come in behind. But, you know, spiritually speaking, often before I go on calls with people, before I go in session with people, group or one-on-one, I'll often say, let me love this person as fiercely as I love my own family.
Wow.
Because when you have someone who will love you that way and wants the change for you, it alchemizes what's going on.
Yes.
Because we can do like, oh, we're running a session and we're having this conversation and then we're identifying the things. And that's all happening. That's happening. But also there's an energy happening. Yes. And I've seen people shift with energy and very little words spoken and have breakthroughs like that.
Yeah.
Which is this whole thing about presence with people and your energy. You know, you can be around people and their energy and you're like, oh, get me out of here. I can't take 20 more seconds of this ouchy energy. And then you can go sit with other people and it's like you come away and you feel like you've had a massage. You've just been sitting with their peaceful, lovely energy for like a cup of tea or something. You come away feeling great. Energy is so important. It's so powerful. Your energy is very powerful, right? As well as you notice the energy of other people are powerful. And we love certain kinds of energy for different purposes. Like you might want to be around really, really high energy people for certain purposes, but in other situations, you don't need that. You don't want to. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I want to draw to people's attention that we are just scratching the surface of this topic. And so you have a workshop that's coming up that is free. People can have access to it. There is, let's see if I can put it here on the bottom of the screen. We've got a special URL to give people access to it, awakenmagazine.com/powerful creator. And just so you guys can see, it's called Be the Powerful Creator of Your Life. And let's see, subtitles, so you can level up in life, love, health, wealth, and joy. All those things. We want those things. If you were to help us understand, what am I going to get out of this workshop? How would this benefit me? Tell us about it.
So 3-part video series, all very short, 20-minute videos. I'm going to release them over 10 days and be available for Q&A and comments if people need support. So we're going to go through the real roots that are going on for you, what's really going on below the surface. I'm going to give you a quick win power activation to signal your system into change. So your system will feel safe to open up for change. I've also got this awesome guide, 22 insights to break the self-help loop. So if you think you're caught in this, what I call the self-help loop, and you like keep doing things for yourself and nothing ever nothing ever changes, these 22 things are going to have you flip your paradigm about what's going on. Then we're going to go through the 5 layers, the pyramid. We dive into what is inside each one of those layers in terms of what does your system actually need in order to move those layers and for them to work cohesively. And then I'm going to share inside that second video a guide which will let you do a self-assessment. And by the end of that self-assessment, 15 minutes, you'll see which of your layers might be out of sync. Not to say that you have layers out of sync, but you might, and it will show you which ones those are. And then in the third video, we're doing a roadmap, like a blueprint, which is what steps do you actually take to change those layers, one by one, in order, exactly what it looks like. And there's some downloads and things for you to take away. So short, snappy, sweet.
I love it. All right. So it's called Be the Powerful Creator of Your Life. And August 11th through the 27th this year, how does that work in terms of the dates, and do I have access?
Perfect. Yes, first video out 11 August, second video out 14 August, third video out 18 August. Watch them in your own time, all of it free online until the 27th of August. No rushing, no worrying about missing anything. Download all the free guides, the audio for activation, yours to keep.
Okay, so you can go to awakenedmagazine.com/powerful creator, and we'll put that link in the description of this video once it becomes a replay video. And amazing. Bernadette, if someone is in that place of feeling stuck today and they're feeling like, I've tried so many different things. I've tried to make changes in my life. I've tried to muscle through it. I've gone to therapy. I'm still feeling stuck in my finances, my health, my relationships, my dreams. And they're really feeling the stuckness today, right? Like for me, it starts to feel, it's the hopelessness,
Yes,
that is the worst feeling of hopelessness. What encouragement would you give them today?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is absolutely nothing wrong, broken, nothing needs fixing. No matter what you say to me, that is absolutely true. Second thing is you don't have many problems. It looks like it on the surface, all these things going on. You don't have many problems. There are usually only a few root issues. And if you will trust someone who's done this for a long enough time and step back from trying to fix all of those problems and trying to fiddle with the symptoms and come deeply within to see what's really going on, shifts can happen a lot faster than you might think. And lastly, there is nothing about you, does not matter what has happened to you in the past, what you have or have not done, what anyone has or has not said, that excludes you from being able to shift these things inside of yourself. You cannot exclude yourself from humanity at all. And another point is, when we think something is going wrong, little spiritual situation here, you're on your soul journey, and these are the times, dark night of the soul, people, these are the times when you're getting called to get up off your knees and take a breath and trust. I've done this for so long. There is nothing you could say to me that would even make me blink. You could say I've been stuck for 20 years and all these things, and I'm like, yep, welcome, I love you, welcome. There's nothing. Your soul does not come here to be like, oh, I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to do suffering. There is a solution to every single problem that exists in consciousness, in oneness, unity consciousness. There is already a solution to every single problem that exists, and then we're going to access it.
Wonderful. All right. Encourage you guys to sign up for Bernadette's workshop. It's called Be the Powerful Creator of Your Life, so you can level up in life, love, health, wealth, and joy. If you sign up now at awakenedmagazine.com/powerful creator, of course, there's free access. You'll get the videos, 3 different videos over the course of those 10 days, August 11th through the 27th, 2025. And you guys, Bernadette is an amazing transformation coach and spiritual mentor, and highly encourage you to follow her work and dive into all the things that she offers. So Bernadette, Coach B, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure.
All right.